Character, it's not something you're born with. It's something you build, moment by moment, choice by choice, day by day. Tone rises slightly. It's forged in discomfort, in the hours no one sees, in the work no one praises, in the decisions you make when no one's watching. Character is staying honest when lies are easier, staying kind when hate is louder, staying strong when you feel weak. The world offers shortcuts, fame without substance, applause without effort, but real character, it refuses the easy road. It walks the hard path with quiet courage. Character development isn't just about who you are. It's about who you're becoming. It's about the legacy you leave behind, not in things, but in how you made people feel, how you stood for something when it mattered most. Your talent can open doors, but only your character will keep them open. Your looks will fade. Your success might change, but your character, that echoes long after you're gone. So build it, day by day, choice by choice, because in the end, your character is your destiny.
Today we're talking about something every dreamer, creator, and doer faces: failure. Yeah, that thing we all try to avoid. But what if I told you that every failure is actually a step forward? Sounds crazy, right? But stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll see that failure isn't the end of your journey. It's proof that you're walking the path. Let's break it down. First, ask yourself this: why does failure hurt so much? It's because we care. Because we had a vision, a goal, a dream, and when it doesn't work out, it feels like we're not enough. But here's the truth. Failure doesn't mean you're not good enough. It means you had the courage to try. Think about that. Most people are too scared to even start. They stay stuck in comfort, never taking risks, never growing. But not you. You tried. You showed up. You put yourself out there.
And yeah, maybe you fell. But falling means you're moving. Every person you admire, every athlete, artist, entrepreneur, creator, has failed. The difference? They didn't stop. Michael Jordan, cut from his high school basketball team. Oprah, told she wasn't fit for television. Walt Disney, fired for lacking imagination. Can you imagine if they had given up after failing? Failure is not a dead end. It's a detour, a lesson, a test of how bad you really want it. Every time you fail, you gain something: experience, resilience, knowledge. You learn what doesn't work, which brings you closer to what does. And here's the crazy part. You can't get to success without failure. It's part of the journey. It's a checkpoint, not the finish line. So, the next time something doesn't go as planned, pause, breathe, then ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Because failure is just feedback. It's life saying, okay, not this way, but keep going.
Let me tell you something important. You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. You've already grown. The person you are today, stronger, smarter, wiser than the one who started. And that's why you're a step closer. You're closer to the breakthrough, closer to the win, closer to becoming who you were meant to be. Remember, progress isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet, it's messy. It looks like falling on your face, then getting back up anyway. You don't fail when you fall. You fail when you quit. So don't quit. The world needs what you have: your vision, your story, your voice. Keep moving, keep growing, keep failing forward. Because every no brings you closer to your yes. Every stumble brings you closer to your stride. And every failure, it means you're a step closer.
Let's talk about something real today. Something raw. Something that everyone faces no matter how talented, smart, or hardworking they are. Failure. It's a word that hits hard. It brings feelings of shame, frustration, and disappointment. It makes us question ourselves. It makes us want to quit. But what if I told you that failure is not the opposite of success? It's actually part of success, a necessary, unavoidable, powerful part. Most of us grow up thinking failure is something to avoid at all costs. We're taught that mistakes are bad, that falling behind means we're not good enough. But the truth is, that mindset is a lie. The people who reach greatness, they're not the ones who avoided failure, they're the ones who embraced it. Let's go deeper. Failure is feedback. It's information. It tells you, this way didn't work. Try another. It sharpens your approach. It builds your grit.
Look at Thomas Edison. He famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Imagine failing 10,000 times before getting it right. Would you keep going? He did. And because of that, we have the light bulb. Or consider J.K. Rowling, rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. If she had given up after the first rejection, we'd never know her name. Failure is the price of admission for achieving something great. Let me ask you something. When a baby is learning to walk and they fall, do we call them a failure? Of course not. We cheer them on. We say, "Get up, try again, you're learning." But somewhere along the way, we forget that. We grow up and suddenly we think falling down means we're weak. No, falling down means you're becoming.
Here's something to think about. Every time you fail, you're collecting data. You're learning about your limits, your strengths, your flaws, your focus. You're learning how to pivot, how to endure, how to sharpen your tools. You're learning how to fight for what matters. You see, success isn't this straight line that goes up and up and up. It's full of zigzags, drops, dips, spirals, and setbacks. It's messy. But every setback has value, if you choose to see it that way. You're not supposed to be perfect. You're supposed to be progressing. Now here's something important. When you fail, people may laugh. They may doubt you. They may say you're wasting your time. Let them. Because what they don't see is your next move. They don't see the lesson you just learned. They don't feel the fire that's building inside you. They don't know that you're actually leveling up.
Every failure is fuel. It's proof that you're not standing still. It's proof that you're chasing something most people are too afraid to even try. Do you know how powerful that is? You had the courage to bet on yourself. You had the guts to take the leap. And maybe you landed flat on your face, but you landed. You were in the air, you were flying. That's more than most people can say. Let me hit you with a hard truth. You will fail again. You will make more mistakes. You will have moments where it feels like everything is falling apart. But those moments, they will shape you. Because strength doesn't come from winning. It comes from struggle. It comes from showing up even when it's hard. It comes from refusing to give up when everything in you wants to quit. Success is a mindset, and part of that mindset is understanding that failure is not personal. It's part of the process. You're not failing, you're training.
The grind before the glow-up, the test before the triumph. You've made it this far. You've already survived everything you thought would break you. So don't stop now. You're closer than you think. One more attempt, one more lesson, one more shot, and maybe, just maybe, that next step is the one that changes everything. So keep going, keep trying, keep failing forward. Because failure doesn't mean you're behind. It means you're a step closer.
Every morning when you wake up, you're stepping onto a battlefield. But this isn't a battle with the world. This isn't a fight against your boss, your competitors, or the critics who don't believe in you. This is a fight against the only person who can truly stop you. You. Because the hardest opponent you'll ever face is the version of yourself that settles, the version that's scared, the version that wants comfort more than growth, the version that says, "I'll start tomorrow every day." But here's the truth most people avoid. You are your only competition. And if you can conquer you, the doubt, the fear, the laziness, the excuses, then there is nothing you can't overcome. This isn't about being better than someone else. This is about being better than who you were yesterday. It's about waking up and making a choice to push yourself, to silence the voice that says, it's too hard, to rise even when you'd rather rest. Because every single day there are two versions of you. The one that's driven, focused, relentless, and the one that's tired, afraid, content with less. And you get to decide which one wins. It's you versus you when you don't feel like working out, but you do it anyway. It's you versus you when no one's watching and you choose to give 100% anyway. It's you versus you when things go wrong, and instead of blaming the world, you look in the mirror and say, what can I control? That's ownership. That's growth. That's what separates average from excellence. And no, it's not easy. Self-discipline isn't easy. Waking up early, staying late, putting in the reps when no one's cheering, none of that is easy. But you know what's harder? Regret. Knowing you could have done more, been more, lived more, but you gave in to you. Let me tell you something. You don't need to be the most talented. You don't need to be the smartest. You don't even need to have all the answers. What you need is this: the will to outwork your old self, the guts to shut down the part of you that settles, the courage to say, not today. Today, I win. Because once you decide that your standard is progress, not perfection, once you commit to being better, not just looking better, that's when everything starts to change. Success is not a destination. It's a daily war. You versus you. And every time you choose discipline over distraction, effort over excuse, growth over comfort, you win a small victory. And those small victories, they build momentum. They build confidence. They build a version of you that's unstoppable. So don't ask, how do I beat them? Ask, how do I beat the me that gives up? Don't wait for motivation, create it. Don't wait for opportunity, become it. Because when you finally realize that the only person holding you back is the same person who has the power to move you forward, that's when the game changes. You're not here to stay the same. You're not here to live a life of almosts and maybes. You're here to evolve, to fight, to grow, to rise. You versus you, and you're built to win. So get out there, show up, level up, and remind yourself, I don't need easy, I just need purpose. I don't run from the hard days. I rise through them. I am not done becoming the person I'm meant to be. This is your time. This is your battle. And this time, you win.
Let me tell you something. There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. Because at least as a rich man, when I have to face my problems, I show up in the back of a limo wearing a $2,000 suit and a $40,000 gold fucking watch.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, there is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living. Now, I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major and deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. But I never understood that concept, having something to fall back on. If I'm going to fall, I don't want to fall back on anything. I want to fall forward. I figure at least this way I'll see what I'm going to hit. Without consistency, you'll never finish. So do what you feel passionate about. Take chances. Don't be afraid to fail. There's an old IQ test, was 9 dots, and you had to draw 5 lines with a pencil within these 9 dots without lifting the pencil. The only way to do it was to go outside the box. Don't be afraid to think outside the box. Don't be afraid to fail big, to dream big. But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs. Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Because the 1,001st was the light bulb. Fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks, and I'm sure you've probably heard that before, but I want to talk to you about why that's so important. You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. There's no doubt about it. And I know that's probably not a traditional message for a graduation ceremony, but hey, I'm telling you, embrace it, because it's inevitable. In the acting business, you fail all the time. Early on in my career, I auditioned for a part in a Broadway musical. Perfect role for me, I thought, except for the fact that I can't sing. I didn't get the job. But here's the thing. I didn't quit. I didn't fall back. I walked out of there to prepare for the next audition, and the next audition, and the next audition. I prayed. I prayed. And I prayed. But I continued to fail, and fail, and fail. But it didn't matter, because you know what? There's an old saying, you hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later you're gonna get a haircut. So you will catch a break, and I did catch a break. Last year, I did a play called Fences on Broadway. But here's the kicker. It was at the Court Theater. It was at the same theater that I failed that first audition 30 years prior. The point is, every graduate here today has the training and the talent to succeed. But do you have the guts to fail? If you don't fail, you're not even trying. I'll say it again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. So imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. The ghost of the ideas you never acted on. The ghost of the talents you didn't use. And they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, they say. And now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes? I just got back from South Africa. It's a beautiful country. But there are places there with terrible poverty that need help. And Africa is just the tip of the iceberg. The Middle East needs your help. Japan needs your help. Alabama needs your help. Tennessee needs your help. Louisiana needs your help. Philadelphia needs your help. The world needs a lot, and we need it from you. We really do. We need it from you young people. I mean, I'm not speaking for the rest of us up here, but I know I'm getting a little grayer. We need it from you, the young people, because remember this. You got to get out there. You got to give it everything you got, whether it's your time, your talent, your prayers, or your treasures. What are you going to do with what you have? I'm not talking about how much you have. Some of you are business majors, some of you are theologians, nurses, sociologists, some of you have money, some of you have patience, some of you have kindness, some of you have love, some of you have the gift of long suffering, whatever it is, whatever your gift is. What are you going to do with what you have? All right, now here's my last point about failure. Sometimes it's the best way to figure out where you're going. Your life will never be a straight path. I began at Fordham University as a pre-med student. I took a course called cardiac morphogenesis. I couldn't read it, I couldn't say it, I sure couldn't pass it. So then I decided to go into pre-law, then journalism. And with no academic focus, my grades took off in their own direction. I was a 1.8 GPA. And the university very politely suggested that it might be better to take some time off. I was 20 years old. I was at my lowest point. And then one day, and I remember the exact day, March 27th, 1975, I was helping my mother in her beauty shop. My mother owned a beauty shop up in Mount Vernon. And there was this older woman who was considered one of the elders in the town. And I didn't know her personally, but I was looking in the mirror, and every time I looked at the mirror, I could see her behind me, and she was staring at me. She just kept looking at me. Every time I looked at her, she kept giving me these strange looks. So she finally took the dryer off her head and she said something I'll never forget. She said, "Young boy, I have a prophecy, a spiritual prophecy." She said, "You are going to travel the world and speak to millions of people." And in the years that followed, just as that woman prophesied, I have traveled the world and I have spoken to millions of people through my movies. Millions who up till this day couldn't see me, who up till this day I couldn't see while I was talking to them, and they couldn't see me, they could only see the movie. They couldn't see the real me. But I see you today, and I'm encouraged by what I see. And I'm strengthened by what I see. Because taking risk is not just about going for a job. It's also about knowing what you know and what you don't know. It's about being open to people and to ideas. The chances you take, the people you meet, the people you love, the faith that you have, that's what's going to define you. Never be discouraged. Never hold back. Give everything you got. And when you fall throughout life, remember this: fall forward.
Because when you've come from the absolute bottom to the absolute top, and you've done it all off of your own back, and hard work and dedication, and never missing a day, the only shortcut to life is to never miss a day. One, because of compounding interest, and two, because sometimes you get lucky. And you'll never miss a lucky day if you try every day. If you don't try every day, you might miss your lucky day. And that's what people don't understand. If you never miss a day and you never don't try and you're always on time, was I late today? No, on time, and you try and improve every aspect of your life, and you're a professional, and you try and make sure that you analyze your decisions, you give yourself feedback, you don't make mistakes, you're not lazy. If you try and you make it to the top, you end up elitist, because you look at the people down below and you're like, well, why didn't you try? I did. Oh, I did too. No, you didn't. That's a lie.
We did not come this far to just break down and lose now. I'm a winner. I'm going to win.
End of the week, if you don't tire it, this is good question. You have to worry about this. Oh, this is Saturday. Your 6th day, you work so hard. Of course you're gonna tire it. Tomorrow rest, and Monday we're gonna begin one more training. If you don't want, go back to Dagestan and stay with your mom. She's gonna give you every day good breakfast. You don't do nothing. Stay there. But if you come here, don't complain. You want to become best. You want to become champion. And now you want to say like you tired. Who cares? You tired or not? Nobody care about you. Nobody care about this.
Yeah.
He was tired. He have personal problem, family. Nobody cares. You don't know. Like you just see how he fight and he go.
Yeah.
And for this one, you have to train so hard. If you don't want, halas. Go back to Dagestan. Nobody gonna ask about yourself. Without you or with you, there is always gonna be champions. With your name, this is your choice. You wanna put your name there? Okay, work hard. No? Bye-bye.
Pan over here, it's the same thing. Not a car or a person inside. People wanna know where I find my strength at, where I get my strength. I get it from a lot of places, but right now, this morning, I'm getting it from, there's not a motherfucker that's up. There's not a car, there's not a person. Everybody's in their bed, sleep, dreading that it's a Monday, hate it's a Monday. And I'm loving it. I'm loving that. Where everybody's getting weaker, I'm getting stronger. It's not about the running, the swimming, the push-ups, the sit-ups. It's about what those things do for your mentality. You don't get better on the daggone couch. You get better by coming out here and getting the fuck after it every daggone day.
To be successful at anything, the truth is you don't have to be special. You just have to be what most people aren't. Consistent, determined, and willing to work for it. No shortcuts. If you look at all my teammates here tonight, it would be impossible to find better examples of men who embody that work ethic, integrity, purpose, determination, and discipline that it takes to be a champion in life.
The wealthy upbringing, we come from a very poor upbringing. When we moved to England, we were in a homeless shelter for the first year as we were trying to find council housing, and we were on a single mother council estate. I've got every excuse everyone else has got to be a criminal asshole, and I'm not. So, you know, and people go, oh, you're lucky you could kickbox us. Getting up and running to this gym because my mom didn't have a car and we couldn't afford the bus, and running 4 miles training, then running 4 miles home is not luck. You could have done that and didn't want to. So, you know, people may meet barriers, but if you genuinely apply yourself.
7, 8, 9, 10, a machine here. There you go. Nobody works like David in this house. Come on. Get it. 17. They don't know me, son. Get it. 18. They don't know me, son. Get it. 19. They don't know me, son. Yeah. 20. You got some more. Yeah. 21. Yeah. Get it again. Come on. We want to see it. Good. 22. Who's going to carry the boats and the logs? That's you, buddy. Come on. 23. Come on, 24. One more, David. One more to carry the boats. You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. You're gonna do it. You did it. Yeah.
Yeah, people only root for those who don't need to be rooted for.
Think and grow rich. 3 words, simple but powerful. Not just a title, a blueprint for the life you want. A life of purpose, of wealth, of freedom.
You only have to ask a stupid question once. You ask a stupid question, and if you're in a crowd and you ask a stupid question, 80% of the people in the crowd have the same question. They're just too cowardly to ask. But you ask and then someone actually tells you, you never have to ask that question again. You're no longer stupid.
This is not about luck, not about talent. It's about you, your mind, your thoughts, your will. It all begins with desire. A burning desire that refuses to die. Not a wish, not a hope, but a definite obsession with your goal. What do you want? Not just surface level wants. What do you want so badly that you'd trade sleep, comfort, and ease to get it? Napoleon Hill said, "Desire is the starting point of all achievement. Not a hope, not a wish, but a keen, pulsating desire which transcends everything." Decide what you want. Write it down. See it every day. Let it live in your mind until your mind believes it's already yours.
And so I just asked them a couple questions. I was like, who here before pledging started was like, I want to be a part of this house? The guys were like, me. Okay. I'm like, okay, got it. Who here thought it was going to be easy? Who here thought it would be hard? They raised their hands. I'm like, guys, this is what hard feels like. And all of a sudden there's just like this big exhale in the room. They're like, expectations get reset. This is normal. You wanted this thing. You expected it to be hard. Reality now matches conditions. Sorry, expectations now match conditions. This is what hard feels like. And then all of a sudden it's like they got permission to feel shitty.
Desire gives you the fire, but faith gives you the fuel. When you believe, your mind begins to act in harmony with that belief. Your subconscious begins to shape reality. Faith is not blind. Faith is knowing that the outcome is already on its way, even if your eyes can't see it yet. Affirm it. Repeat it. Speak life into your vision, because what you speak, you begin to feel, and what you feel becomes your reality.
What stupid thing am I doing that I could quit doing? That I would quit doing? Because those aren't the same thing, right? Because you know there's stupid things that you're doing that you're just not going to quit doing because you like them. But there might be something on the edge there where you could stop that.
If you want to know something about yourself, sit on your bed one night and say to yourself, you got to mean this, like you got to be desperate. This is no game, this. My life is not everything I want it to be, and perhaps it's not everything that I need it to be. And by need, I mean my life is so unbearable that the suffering that's attendant upon that has made me nihilistic, cynical, bitter, resentful, driving the proclivity to see evil everywhere except within my own heart. Like, these are problems, man. And you ask yourself, you sit on the bed and say, okay, man, I'm ready to learn something. What's one thing I'm doing wrong that I know I'm doing wrong, that I could fix, that I would fix? It's like, you meditate on that, you'll get an answer.
Every thought you think is a command. Every belief you repeat is an instruction to your subconscious. This is the power of autosuggestion. You become what you consistently tell yourself. That's why you must guard your self-talk like treasure. Feed your mind with the words that build you. Say it until it's real, until your mind can no longer tell the difference between vision and memory. What you think, you become. What you feel, you attract. What you imagine, you create.
Fear, that's fear.
I guess it is, yeah.
So so let's just, your dreams are a reflection of the unconscious. And if you're having nightmares, there must be some unresolved fear that wants to get worked out.
I believe so, but then also, I love the idea of that. Of having unresolved fear. That sounds like the most interesting thing in the world to me. If someone were to say to me, Andrew, take this pill and your unresolved fear will vanish, I would say absolutely and utterly not. That's not fun. The fun is there's something in my mind which I don't have complete control or complete understanding of yet, and it's not detrimenting my day-to-day life really. Okay, I lose a bit of sleep, but this sounds like an interesting journey. It sounds like I'm in a new level of the video game and I've been thrust into a dark forest and I get to do something brand new, and I'm really genuinely not worried about it.
Knowledge is not power. Applied knowledge is. Not just random facts, not noise, but specialized knowledge. The kind that solves problems, creates value, and builds wealth. Ask yourself, what skill, what expertise, what knowledge can I master that will move me closer to my goal? Read, study, learn from those who've done what you want to do. Because success leaves clues, but it's up to you to follow them.
Shoot, I can't remember who it was from. But basically that the best art is art where the artist makes it for themselves, and where you see commercial work It's where a bunch of people are trying to make something for an audience. And so they're trying to like rinse and recycle stuff that actually solves no one's problems because no one is actually the audience. Whereas when you make it for yourself, there's thousands of people just like you who will have the same depth of understanding of it, but it feels selfish in the moment to make something for yourself. But when you make it for yourself, you actually make it for everyone. And so I think when you're on the start path, you can't look at the outcome as the only positive because you will never make it. And so the positive frame that I've always used is, sure, you can have the external ones of like, I like thinking about my first videos had like 13 views. And I'm like, well, if I had an audience of 13 people, I used to spend years pitching, weight loss stuff to rooms of 13, and that was fine. And so thinking about that way was helpful. But the most helpful frame was thinking about who I was becoming as the asset that I was building.
Every success story begins in the mind. Before the building came the blueprint. Before the business came the vision. Before the millions came the thought. Imagination is your preview of life's coming attractions. Use it. Visualize daily. See your future. Feel it. Live it. And then work until the world catches up to your mind.
Every day I wake up, I don't just run a mile, 2 miles. It's the one thing I hate the most to do, and I do it like I love it. 250, 60, 70, 300-mile runs at one time, no sleep. And every step, when I get to think about this, I get to the start line, cussing at Jennifer. Why the am I here? I hate this shit. After 70-some hours of running, every question I ever had is answered.
Dreams without action are fantasies. So plan strategically. Put structure to your vision. Break the big goals into small steps. Organize, prioritize, take action, adjust, repeat. Your plan may fail, that's okay. What matters is not the first plan, but your persistence in building a better one.
You want a horizon of ever-expanding possibility. We're built to walk uphill, and when you reach the pinnacle of the hill, you want to stop and appreciate the vision, but the next thing you want is a higher hill in the distance. Beware of unintended consequences. It's like, oh no, this thing will just do what I want it to do and nothing else. It's like, no, it turns out that not only is what we want from each other the real thing, but that's also the adventure of your life. And so if you aren't truthful, and that means, unfortunately, especially at the beginning, when you start to be truthful, it means deeply coming to terms with your inadequacies in humility. So it's very painful. Without that, you don't have the adventure of your life. You have the role that you've acquiesced to. And that'll take all the meaning out of your life.
Indecision is the enemy of progress. Successful people make decisions quickly. They trust their vision, they trust their gut, they move, and once the decision is made, they do not quit. Persistence separates the rich from the rest. When others stop, you keep going. When it gets hard, you dig deeper. Because you know every step forward brings you closer to what's already yours in the mind.
Also, along the hero's journey, you have to die to be reborn.
That's true. And I agree with all of that. But if I'm genuinely, I psychoanalyze myself all the time, which is one of the main reasons I don't believe in therapy and psychoanalysis.
You can't psychoanalyze yourself.
Of course you can, because then it becomes a crutch. I like the idea that I can rely on myself to fix myself.
Well, you have a coach. Is that a crutch?
No, it's not, because he's teaching me something.
What's the difference?
That's fine, but like if I had an affliction, I would like to be my own doctor. And I think with your mind, you can do a lot of it yourself. And I think if you have a very strict framework in how you measure how successful you are as a human, and I do it through competence and achievement, I say, which mindset do I need to achieve as much as I can possibly achieve?
Right.
And I can measure that in real time. I'll say, okay, well then this is the mindset I need to have to be as successful as possible. Anything that's deviating me away from that needs to be addressed and concerned and dealt with, and I can do that myself. And I think the fear that, if it's fear that's waking me up from nightmares now, it's just because I understand there's a very big apparatus, a very big enemy, which I cannot destroy and I cannot beat, coming to get me. Mm-hmm. So I do think that wakes me up. I think the fear is healthy. I think I'd be stupid to not be afraid.
You don't have to do this alone. Greatness grows in groups. Surround yourself with a mastermind, people who challenge you, sharpen you, elevate you. And remember, your subconscious mind is always listening. Feed it greatness. Feed it purpose. Let it be your silent partner, your quiet architect of destiny.
So in real time, whenever I finished a long day's work, I was becoming more like the type of person who could work for 5 years without reward. And that would be part of the story I would someday tell. And so some of the biggest reinforcers I've had in my life has been future casting the story that I would tell about the shitty period that I was in. Like, I remember when I was sleeping on the floor at my gym because I didn't have enough money for 2 rents. And I was like, I will fucking tell this story. And when I lost everything for the first time, I have the screenshot of the bank account. Like, when I show it, people are like, oh, look, there's that thing. But they forget that there was a person who screenshotted it to be like, this won't fucking happen again.
Sometimes you'll just know. An idea will strike, a solution will appear. This is the sixth sense, a whisper from the part of you that's connected to something greater. Call it intuition, call it infinite intelligence, but trust it. It's the voice of everything you've absorbed, everything you've imagined, coming together to guide you.
We're built to walk uphill. And when you reach the pinnacle of the hill, you want to stop and appreciate the vision, but the next thing you want is a higher hill in the distance, because it's the uphill climb that, it's from the uphill climb that we derive our value, and I mean this technically. So almost all the positive emotion we feel, especially the emotion that fills us with enthusiasm, that's experienced in relationship to a goal. And so in some sense, you want a goal that you can never attain, right? So you can always move closer to the goal that recedes as you move towards it. You think, well, that's frustrating. It's like Sisyphus pushing the rock uphill. But it's not, because as you pursue that goal, you put yourself together and your life does get better and richer and more abundant.
You were born to grow, to build, to create, to think, and grow rich. Not just in money, but in purpose, in confidence, in life. So dream boldly, plan wisely, and never forget. Your mind is the gateway, your thoughts are the tools, and your future is in your hands.
Yes. You just let yourself be here with me and just see what happens.
But then what are we going to talk about?
We don't have to talk about anything. Doesn't it feel good to feel another man? Like just to feel the strength, like without the words, without that layer of thought and dialogue and discussion? Come back.
I'm thinking.
Come back.
But
Don't think.
But I have to.
You don't have to. You don't have to. Just be here. This is the place you get to when you're fighting. It feels good.
It's true, but
doesn't it feel good?
Yes, but there's an action involved. Like I can feel everything about the person I'm fighting, whether it's good or bad. And I can feel if I've hurt them or not.
Feel me.
I don't get to punch you, my friend.
You don't.
It's been good fun, and I feel like I've learned some things, and I feel like we need to do it again.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was fun. I appreciate you, man.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you.